tarot beginners, let's talk about why tarot spreads, patterns of cards where each card is supposed to have a special meaning within the overall pattern of the spread, why these spreads can make it so much harder to become a good tarot reader, and why spreads like this aren't even necessary. Let's get into it. The earliest recorded tarot spread that I found dates back to 1781. But you don't really find tarot spreads as the historic way to learn to read tarot, and they seem to me, at least, to be based on tarot's playing card past. They almost kind of look like a solitaire game in some of the examples that I've seen. So why are these not necessary, and why do they get in the way of you learning to read tarot? In my opinion, it's because they add an additional level of complexity. So not only do you now have to be learning to know the meanings of the various cards in your deck, but now there's this added level. Now you have to fit the meaning of each card into past, present, future, the background of the situation, the future of the situation, who else is involved. These are all additional levels of difficulty that usually have no bearing on the question you're asking. So what do I recommend that you do instead as a beginning tarot reader? Just formulate the question in your mind and meditate on that question, and then draw one card. So a lot of what goes into becoming a good tarot reader at the beginning is learning to ask the right kind of specific question. Let's look at that a little bit more. If you're asking a yes or no question, take a look at my video. I will put it somewhere up in the corner here. Take a look at my video about how to answer yes or no questions, where I share my easiest possible method of doing this and getting really clear answers from the tarot. Okay, but what about other types of questions that cannot be answered by a yes or no? For example, questions that are asking who, what, when, where, why, and how will something happen? So here you can just draw one card, and I recommend that you sit with that card and give it a few minutes to look at it and think about, how does this card answer my question? And only then could you pull another card for clarification. So what I find that beginners do a lot is they'll pull a card and then it doesn't immediately make sense. So now they start pulling card after card after card after card. This makes reading a lot more confusing than it has to be. So the big answer here is spend time with the one card you drew. For example, how does he feel toward me? A totally frequently asked question by many of my clients. So how does he feel about me? So then pull one card and look at that card. What is that card saying to you? What kind of message are you getting from that card? Spend a few minutes. Then, only then, if nothing is coming into your mind about how this card reflects the question you asked, then pull one more card. Spend time looking at that card. How do those two cards interact with each other? I think you're getting the general idea. So one more thought here is, what if you really are fascinated by these spreads and want to use them? So I think, as many of you probably have heard before, what I'm recommending is not the Celtic Cross spread, not any of these other spreads. I'll give you a couple of examples here to look at. None of these complex spreads. Nothing that is having you pull more than 5 cards, for example. And what you read, the simple ones that I feel are of the most value when you're starting out as a reader, is 3 cards, past, present, or future. The basis of the situation, what they're thinking now, what is likely to happen. So anything where you can pull just 3 cards and formulate your question into something that just involves 3 facets of the overall big question. And the main point, guys, is ask specific questions of exactly what you want to know. I see a lot of beginning readers trying to make a practical question seem really spiritual. when really all they want to know is, will I get the job? Would this job be good for me? Does my boss have it in for me? So many questions, really, what you really want to know are so simple and physical and practical. So those are absolutely great questions to ask. There doesn't have to be an over altruistic layer of spirituality over something that's just, I need to be paid better. Should I stay at my current job? Should I ask for the raise? Should I take this new opportunity? These are great questions to ask no matter what stage of your tarot journey you're in. So try to keep it simple. I'm going to, in the description below, I'm going to give some examples of really good 3-card spreads that you could ask, and I think I can also probably refer you to an excellent book or two on the subject. So check out and see what I leave in the description. Even I don't know exactly what I'm going to be putting there, but I will put some things that I think will be really helpful. So no spreads right now is my personal advice after 30 years or so of tarot reading. But if you need some help in certain spreads that you're trying to use, leave a comment in the description and I will try to help out. If you're interested in more videos about beginner tips on reading tarot, please comment. I've made a few videos here so far on this topic, but I'm really waiting to hear whether people are finding this valuable before I make more.